That's what you get.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello and welcome to April 18th of our daily Stoic entries. We are on April 18th.
Excellent.
And today is opinions are like ...
Oh.
Of course, opinions are like assholes is probably what he wants us to think.
That's interesting. Because someone just left a comment on one of the YouTube videos saying
So there was something in there.
like opinions are like assholes, and I was like why are they saying it? And now maybe they have the book and they know what's coming up the next day or something. That's true.
I'm not caught up with our YouTube comments
Anyway.
yet, so maybe. But like everything is on a theme, so it could be that this is all sort of interwoven thematically,
Yeah.
and that it
Very
would
cool.
make sense to say opinions are like assholes on a completely separate day. You ready for Epictetus's quote? Okay.
So, did you actually say that whole quote? Like, what do they mean by ...
No, because look, it's just opinions are like ...
Got it. But
That's the name of the title.
what they mean is that quote, like.
I'm assuming, and this is Ryan's, so like I'm assuming that that's what.
But the quote is opinions are like assholes because everybody has one, or everyone has one, or everybody has one. Okay.
And like
they're not very important or something, you know.
And I think there might be also something about like it smells bad or like,
something. Yeah, they all
like
stink.
they all stink or something like that.
That's kind of disgusting.
Essentially, opinions aren't very valuable. Like they're not worth very much.
Yeah. That's a weird metaphor. Anyway, go on.
Some people like it.
Yes.
Epictetus says, "What is bad luck? Opinion. What are conflict, dispute, blame, accusation, irreverence, and frivolity? They are all opinions, and more than that, they are opinions that lie outside of our own reasoned choice, presented as if they were good or evil. Let a person shift their opinions only to what belongs in the field of their own choice, and I guarantee that person will have peace of mind, whatever is happening around them." Okay, I feel like this requires some breaking down. So I'm really getting this with Epictetus is using this reasoned choice thing. And maybe in some other day I took an action item that I never followed up on to look into that terminology. So the first part of this is pretty straightforward. Like, what is bad luck? It's opinion.
Right.
Conflict, he has this whole list of things, which you can read in the description. And that's all opinion.
Right.
Okay, great. Then he says, here's where it gets confusing. Then he says, they are opinions that lie outside of our own reasoned choice, presented as if they were good or evil.
So they are beyond our reasoned choice.
I think what he means here is like outside of the realm of things that you can control. So
Well, sure, but like, I'm always trying to think about it like there are. What's the other one? What's the other side of there?
yes, because he says the other side of it down here. He said, "Let a person shift their opinions only to what belongs in the field of their own choice."
Got it. So again, only have opinions about the things that you can control.
Exactly.
Which is
Stop having opinions about things outside of
very
your
little.
Or
Or I mean, maybe it's a lot, but it's
it is a lot because in every moment of your life you have control over some things, but it's a little in the sense of it's only a few things out of all of the things. And that's the perspective. How am I seeing this? which I think even is April's whole theme here. The unbiased
Yeah.
thought is like, let me make sure I'm seeing things correctly. And then what do I say and what do I do? Those are the only things that I have a choice over. So let me have an opinion about those. And any opinion I have about bad luck, blame, like someone else is doing something. I mean, everything on that list is like pointing out, I don't like something in the world, or I don't like what somebody else is doing.
Yeah, because that's a judgment from your perspective, and you are seeing it in a certain way, but that's not necessarily what you don't have a control over
What they're doing, or what life is bringing you.
Right.
But I have a control over how I take it, how I see it, how I react to it. And so if I'm in a moment where I'm saying, I don't like this thing in life, or I don't like this thing that this other person is doing, at the same time, I'm not paying attention to the things within my choice. Like, how am I looking at the situation? And then how am I being in this situation? And now I promise I'm not acting in that situation in a way that's in my best interest or anyone's best interest, you know, because I'm not seeing it the right way. I'm distracted by an opinion about what is going on in the world.
I guess I'm having a hard time distinguishing between what is a opinion and what is just like a thought. Like, what's the difference between a thought and an opinion?
Well, there may be a lot of overlap. Like, I think an opinion is a type
like
of
a
thought.
collection of thoughts, maybe,
Or a type
like,
of thought, maybe.
Or a type of thought, or like it has like some sort of a description of something in it.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to describe how something is from using these eyeballs and using this brain to, like, this is what's happening. And so when we try to describe something, anything, it's an opinion, right? So then I go like, okay, well then what can I actually describe? Well, can I describe of what, like, my feel, like outside? It feels like on the outside I can't really describe much because it's all out there, and therefore I'm using this perception to perceive it and then have an opinion about it, what all of this means. So it's very hard to have something besides an opinion to the outside world, I think. I don't know. And then so then I'm like, well, what about the inside world? Like, you know?
Well, here's something
Like
interesting.
feels like there's more control over the inside world versus over the outside world.
It feels like there's more control over the inside. Say more about that, over the inside world.
Inside,
versus
like how
outside.
you're processing things, like you have more control of how you process things. You have more control over what opinion you create, right? Is it like this way,
that's
that
the
way?
domain of what you actually
You have actually,
control.
so that's what I'm saying, the inside world, the looking inwards, we have more control over that than anything out here.
That's the only thing we have control over.
Right.
We don't have control over anything out here.
Right, and so, right, but why don't we have control over it? Because it's an opinion. Everything out here is our opinion of that.
Of something.
Therefore we don't have a control of those opinions at all. And so then my question was like, well, what opinions do we have control over?
Well, now we're getting into like, do you choose your thoughts? Essentially, because an opinion is a thought. It's a thought that says, I like this, or I don't like this, or here's how I'm seeing things.
So it's like is it a preference?
It could be a preference. I would say that's one type of an opinion, but you also have an opinion of like just your interpretation of what you were kind of alluding to of like, I see something happen and now I describe it, and the way that I'm describing it has biases in it, it has opinions in it. It's just a perspective, essentially, of, or a take on something that's happened.
What did we say? What did they just say? That the opinions are what? What did I just say?
Opinions are a thought?
Yeah, I had a point there, but I was like, oh yeah, I just need to remember this, and I lost it, so it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Anything else, or do you wanna do you wanna do Ryan now, or?
Yeah, well, just summarize for me like what the whole thing that you like, your whole kind of take on the situation.
Huh. I don't know if I can summarize it.
Okay, maybe somebody else can summarize it.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know how to summarize it. There's just like there's like many moving parts in there or something, so it's hard to like put it in some sort of a one thing or summary.
Okay. There was kind of something you were talking about in there of like making also a distinction between how we hold on to our opinions, because like if everything I say has some flavor of opinion to it, I still have to go out in the world and say things and do things, and so clearly my opinions help me in some regard. Like they're not totally evil or a nuisance or something like that. And so something I'm also pulling out from what Epictetus is saying is he's calling out a type of opinion that is presented in terms of things being good and evil. And so that might be a way to kind of internally be like, is this a helpful opinion or not a helpful opinion? It's like, if this is coming in some way where I'm making a villain out of something or a hero out of something else, like this opinion is probably not in my best interest if now I let it turn into the things that I'm saying and doing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and then he's saying, let a person shift their opinions only to what belongs in their field of their own choice. He's saying, pay attention to the things that you have control over. Like, stop giving a shit about the things you don't have control over. Give a shit about them in the way that you're reacting to them and you're playing back and forth, because this is like always this game of like something I have control over, something I don't have control over, something I have control over, something I don't have control over. So I'm in a dance with something I don't have control over. So to say I don't have an opinion on it doesn't mean I need to disengage from it or something like that. It's like, no, I still need to be smart. I need to make good decisions, but I need to reserve my opinions and like things I care about to the things that are within my control and not the things that are outside my control. Did the point come back yet?
What point? No.
Okay.
No, I was listening to what you were saying. I wasn't
Okay.
thinking about the thing that I don't
No, I was just wondering if it spontaneously came back to you.
Okay. Do you wanna,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's what Ryan has to say. Opinions. Everyone's got one. Think about all the opinions you have about whether today's weather is convenient, about what liberals and conservatives believe, about whether so-and-so's remark is rude or not, about whether you're successful or not, and on and on and on. We're constantly looking at the world around us and putting our opinion on top of it. And our opinion is often shaped by dogma, religious or cultural, entitlements, expectations, and in some cases, ignorance. No wonder we feel upset and angry so often. But what if we let these opinions go? Let's try weeding them out of our lives so that things simply are. Not good or bad, not colored with opinion or judgment, just are.
Anything comes up?
Yeah, I mean, just how freaking difficult this is, like, because all day I'm just having, like, emotional reactions to things outside of my control. Like, this conversation with you, even, I'm, like, having, like, this emotional reaction to it, you know? And so, or, like, at being at work, it goes this way and then that way and this other way. And it's all like when the feeling comes up and then it's mapped to some sort of like storyline or something, that storyline is always like somebody else is doing something. It's not like a movie reel of my inner world or like what's going on in me. It's a movie reel of like what somebody else said, what somebody else did. It's a movie reel of how I've been wronged.
Is it a movie would you say that it's an opinion?
Yes, that's what the movie reel is. Like, the movie reel is the opinion of everything that's happened.
Maybe many different opinions are kind of brought together to create this narrative or something.
Yeah, like the movie is a collection of thoughts or images, you know. And so, I mean, I was raised like this, as I assume like most of us are, and just not very practiced in this new way of doing things. And so it's very evident as I sort of like play back my tape and like look at how this is working in my life. I think I'm probably better than I used to be, but I can see that it's very much still the norm to have opinions about things constantly.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, but is that, yeah, because he's talking about over there, like, weeding them out. That doesn't sit well with me for some reason, because it's kind of like, there's this image. When someone says weeding them out, I imagine somebody's being in a garden, like, pulling weeds out with the roots out, right? And, like, that's a nice image, but it doesn't do anything with these opinions. I don't see an opinion being pulled out from the ground or pulled up from, like, that image doesn't exist of like, how do I outroot and just be, if things just are, right? AKA things just is, right? So it's almost like, not Goggins, but the other guy, or maybe it is Goggins. He's saying like, how are things? Good.
Oh, no, that was Jocko.
Or Jocko, right? So like whatever question someone asks him, how is he doing? He's always gonna say good, even though he's like his leg is missing, you know. And so because it's like how are things? Things are. Like, because the second I say things are good, that's an opinion now, and now I'm in the world of opinions, and now I cannot escape, because if I have a good opinion, like, oh, things are great right now. Well, then what am I gonna not have the ones, oh, things are crappy right now?
Yeah,
somehow?
Well, I think his policy is things are, but he just then puts good on it, and now things are.
Right.
And things are just constantly.
Right. So if you, my point was that if you want to say things are good, the second you start saying things are good, you also then are in the world of saying things are bad, and vice versa.
I'm saying like he's not doing that. I'm saying
Who is not doing
Jocko, like with things are good.
Oh no,
because
Jocko is just saying good, like
things are.
Things are.
It's basically he's saying things are, but the way he's saying it is things are good.
Yeah.
He's just putting the word good in his...
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's not... I'm not confused about that.
Okay.
He's saying good, like things are just like, how is it good?
Right.
He's not jumping up and down. Hey, you won a lottery. How is it? Good.
Yeah. He's not getting excited.
You lost all your money. How is it? Good.
Good.
So it's like, it's same thing about the chop wood, carry water, right? Same thing, like whatever happens before or after, doesn't matter what's happening. You always have to be chop wood, carry water, carry away, keep going. It's all just, it's like life is unveiling and we just have to keep living it, right? And not having opinions. I mean, that's a nice idea, but like a utopian idea or something, because when are you not having opinions? In some sort of a meditative state? Okay.
I mean, I'm really taking from this, like, pay attention to the things within your control and stop giving a shit about the things that are outside of your control.
that's shifting the conversation about what are we getting out of it. Yes, of course.
Well,
I can find many
I'm saying that because if we go down this opinion rabbit hole, then I get to a similar place as you, where it's like, hey, also, can we have a definition first? Can we have a working definition of what this is, so I know exactly what we're talking about? But this is another case of
we have to agree here only on what the definition is between us and just kind of take it based on its face value, right? So is how I understand it versus how you understand it, and then we'll have some sort of a collective understanding of it. But because even if someone else comes, all I'm saying is that even if someone else comes to this interaction and says, I will define this word for you, that's also now just their opinion of definition of the word. So now we're in this world of...
I was more so wishing just that I had something from Epictetus or Ryan in that regard, like the people who are talking to us through the book. But yeah, I mean, if I had to define it for the purposes of this discussion, I would go back to Epictetus saying good and evil. Like, opinions are the things that I think are either
good or bad,
better than things just are, or worse than things just are. And as that pertains to anything that I don't control,
so
that's not a useful.
So it's an exaggeration. Yeah, opinion is an exaggeration.
Of what? Reality? Of a reality that just is?
Yeah.
And so then we, the perceiver, see it as some way. We have an opinion.
We just see it,
and we
then
exaggerate
the second we try
it.
to say something with our mouths or have some sort of a internally thought about, this is this, we are in the opinion world. Right?
And so when I'm saying the opinions that we're talking about in this discussion is not every thought that comes through your head.
That makes sense.
It is the opinion that is ascribing good or evil to things, and that is focused on things outside of my control.
Right.
Because I do want to actually look at the things within my control from a moralistic vantage point of like, hey, how much do I agree with my behavior and what I just did? And how much do I disagree with this?
Yeah.
I do want to be critical about and have opinions about how I'm seeing things and how I'm behaving. So it's really the cutoff is then taking that same good evil construct and looking outwards at anything that life is serving me or anything another person is serving me.
Yeah. Something like that.
And during that time that I would want to have the opinion about that thing outside, I need to double down on staying inside myself and focusing my opinions on the things in my control. You know, when the moment I get triggered and I'm starting to get emotionally reactive to something, I maybe in that moment don't notice that I've just said this thing is a piece of shit or something, but I had to have some sort of, this thing is evil, this thing is bad, this thing shouldn't be here, in order for me to get riled up about something, you know, in order for me to like feel angry about something or something like that. So I might not notice that I have an opinion, but if I have these emotional reactions, that can clue me into, hey, you're having an opinion right now about something that is not within like what you should be even paying attention to.
Well, so how would you distinguish between what you're supposed to pay attention and not?
Well, again, it just what do I have control over and what do I not have control over?
Right.
That's how I know what to pay attention to.
Yeah. Yeah, we can leave it like that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. What does opinion mean?